So this is chapter 2 in the drawing the face subject, and we are going to look at anatomy of the face. So when you think of anatomy, a lot of times you think of the musculature, but what we want to start off first and what I want to encourage is that you are at least aware of the skull and that there is a skull under the face. A lot of times you just think of the muscle and a lot of the details, but the underlying form we get here is going to determine a lot of the shapes that we have in the actual skull. Some important ones, we have the eye cavity, and right underneath that we have the cheekbone, and that transitions and creates a plane into the teeth and into the actual jawline. So this large structure here, and what we can see it here on the side, is a very, very important landmark. And as I continue to talk about the face and some of the planes, I'm going to continue to bring that up. So we're a little limited on time right now, but I would recommend if you can get a skull and draw it over and over and over again about 200 times, that would be a good thing to do. Okay, so we have the skull, and we're going to start drawing in the face. So the first thing that we can do, we draw a center line here, and then the eyes. The eyes are about halfway down the face, and I would say a lot of the time when people start to draw eyes when they're younger, they usually put the eyes here, put it up towards the top. So remember, they're actually more towards the middle. Okay, again, a safe place to start as far as some of the landmarks is the eye. The eye is actually a ball, perhaps about this size, but we actually don't see a lot of that. We actually see only the white of the eye, which is around this big. And the eye itself is made up of 3 important parts. We have the upper eyelid, we actually have the part of the eye we can see, and then we have the bottom eyelid. And then that rests in the brow, and that connects to the nose. Now the nose has 3 planes. It has the front plane, here, and it has the side planes as such. So let me draw in the other eye over here real fast. Okay, so the side plane of the nose then transitions into the brow, which is this area here. It's actually a really helpful thing to know because in certain times when you're constructing the head, you can make one big swooping line here if the lighting is correct and handle the plane of the brow, and it transitions into the side of the nose. So it's very helpful. And that terminates right here on the side of the eye. Okay? So then you have the nose itself, the nostrils, and along the side of the nostril, if you run a line from here up, you're going to get to the side of the eye. So the same shape of the eye, the width is 1, 2, 3. These 3 shapes, and that's rather helpful. So then you have the philtrum underneath the nose. That's that little divot right above the lips. And then you're going to have the actual lips themselves, which is about halfway between the bottom of the nose and the chin. And then if you look here, obviously it's going to be right in between where the teeth are going to be. Now the lips are made up, the top lip is made up of 3 segments. You have the top or the center triangle, and that looks like an M shape. And if you run a line from the side of the lips up, a lot of times that's going to reach the center of the eye as a basic rule. And then the bottom is built up of 2 segments, And underneath the lips, you're going to have the mentolabial sulcus, which is this shape you see here, which is a little more pronounced depending on how old you get, but is a very important landmark. Okay, now something to consider is if you remember that we have the cheekbone here, that's actually going to be very important, as there's a plane that runs from here, and I'm oversimplifying it, but from here to here, and that is the front plane of the face. And then it comes in a little bit, and then it continues again here. So it's creating almost this mask shape. So all this area is the front plane of the face, and then it transitions, and all this area is the side plane of the face. All right. So then right here you have the nanolabial sulcus, which is this crease from the side of the nose to the side of the mouth, and that also is more prominent depending on the age of the person. And then in between the eyes and the forehead and the nose, you're going to have a plane here, and this is the area here that dips in just a little bit. So it's important to suggest that there is in fact a plane change there. All right, now as far as the ears, they're going to sit, and it's going to depend on, again, the person. It can vary quite a bit. A good rule is the bottom of the ear ends right about the bottom of the nose. And if I was to put hair on this person, the hair is going to start right about here. And that'll go and transition into something like that. Alright, so we can put in the ear on the other side very quickly. Alright, and now we have a face that's beginning to be put in. If we were going to put a neck in and we have a whole section on necks, basically that's going to run like this. Okay, so those are some key moments of the face. Now if we move over and look at the profile, we have a lot of the same moments, but it's important to see them from the side. So in this case, we're going to have the eye again, it's right about here. This is the visible part of the eye that we're going to see here. And then if we want to talk about the side plane of the head again, that is going to be at this point. This is where it transitions from the front plane here to more of the side plane, which is very important. Now we wonder about how does the profile of the nose work. Well, this is actually skull, and then it breaks up. So where we have more flesh of the nose here, outside of the cavity for the nose. So then that comes out. We're going to have the lips as before. Now what's very helpful in drawing this is if you make a line from the tip of the nose down to the chin, you get an almost a straight line. A lot of people make this shape a little too wobbly with the lips, something like that. But just making that straight line is a good landmark. It's really nailing it right where it needs to be. Okay. And then where you would put the ear in this circumstance, you can make a line down this way, and then make another division line here. You have the side plane of the face, so the ear would go right about there. Another error people make quite a bit is the amount of space from the side of the eye to the ear. They actually make it pretty small. A lot of times we'll make it like right there, when in actuality it should be way over here. It's actually a good amount of space between them. And then again, the hair would start right about here. There would be the sideburns. And then we're going to get into the neck, but it's important to know, just a little preview, this is the sternomastocoid, which is that large tendon you see in the neck. Going to run right here. And that's how the neck connects onto the base of the skull. It's like that. All right, so those are some of the landmarks to really think about. That was pretty quick. As far as if you want to study this further, there are a lot of anatomical books you can refer to. I like looking at some of the drawings of Michael Hampton. I think he has some rather nice demonstrations. And combining that with studying the skull and your own research, you should start to really understand the basis of some of the facial anatomy and how it sits in the head. All right, let's move on.